Okay, today, guys, I'm going to do a brief overview of the frequently asked questions of South African home buyers. So, why I say brief overview is that in further follow up videos, I will go through each topic in more detail. But this, I just wanted to do, as I say, a brief cover kind of each frequently asked questions. If I don't cover one that's on your mind, please comment and then I'll get to that. So, number one is obviously how much home can I afford as a buyer. So you want to know what budget you're working with. How can you do that? How can you get some sort of pre-approval with a bond originator? So we obviously work with one, so I can send details through to you, but you can simply Google reputable ones, Uber Home Loan, so OOBA, or Better Bond. There's obviously other companies, but those are two that I know and have worked with and do a fantastic job. Why you want to work with a bond originator is, number one, as I say, a pre-approval, so you know exactly what budget you're working within. Then when you do find a home and you have an accepted offer to purchase, they go to each and every bank on your behalf and they fight for the best rate for you. So for me, it's a no-brainer, because why would you not want to save money every month? So that's number one. Number two is, do I need a deposit for a purchase? So you don't need one. While a deposit is obviously attractive in terms of a risk factor from the bank as well as from a seller's point of view. Let's say there's multiple offers on a property and you are one of them and you are opting for 100% bond, and your competitor has a 80% bond, 20% deposit. From a risk factor, seller's probably going to pick them, obviously provided the price is actually the same and you're not offering more. But banks are granting 100% bond because you will need cash set aside for costs, which I'm about to go into. So if you have a certain amount cash set aside, you are going to need that for your costs. Obviously, if you have enough for costs and deposit, brilliant. Now, what are these costs? So there's three: bond costs, transfer duties. Transfer duties, I will put I'm new to YouTube. I will put a picture here of the transfer duty brackets. Those have recently changed. That's a tax payable to SARS. So depending on the purchase price is what you'll pay. I'll also link in the comments a calculator link where you're able to see bond costs, and transfer duties. But this is just a nice little picture for you to screenshot and have on hand. Then the link will break down. So transfer costs are payable to the transferring attorneys. It's a cost payable to them for their services, for them to transfer the property. Bond costs are obviously the cost involved in you registering your bond because you are bonding a property. Obviously, if you're paying a full cash purchase, bond costs are not applicable. The link is really nice to use. You can plug in your purchase price, you can plug in deposit, how much you're obviously going to bond, and it breaks down each and every cost, even these small little tiny ones that you may forget. So those are those, and then those are those kind of first frequently asked questions to do with affordability and your month-on-month costs. Now, leading from those month-on-month costs is, what are rates and levies? Because a lot of people forget about these little costs, and then you buy the property and your first month is a bit of a scare. So depending on what type of property, full title versus sectional, I'm not even going to go into that in detail. That will be a follow-up video. If you're opting for a sectional title, you're going to have a body corporate which runs the sectional title complex. Ask, no matter what type of property you're buying, if you're buying a full title in an estate and there is a levy applicable, ask for a levy statement, because sometimes the levy is advertised on Property 24, the portals, but then there's a maintenance levy or reserve fund levy or CSOS, which is your ombudsman service. So you want to know all of those so you know exactly what month on month you're going to be paying. And then rate statement is payable to the council, and on top of that, so you have your property rates, which is the tax, and on top of that you'll have your refuse and your sewer, and then sometimes water is on there, payable to City of Johannesburg, the region I'm in. So ask for a rate statement, because then you know exactly what your month-on-month costs are. And then, so I'm trying to remember these questions. Yes, okay. And then number 5 now, I think we're on, is, do I need to do a home inspection? You obviously legally you don't have to do it, and a seller is not legally liable to do one either or present a report. However, if you are wanting to do one, you must be aware that it will be for your cost as the buyer. The seller will not have to pay for that property inspection. So you can obviously opt to do one, but just remember that that is for you to do. You can do it before you put in an offer to purchase, or you can make it a condition of an offer to purchase. So you put in an offer and you say subject to property inspection. I always put a timeline there for the seller's sake and for your sake. Subject to a property inspection done within 7 days of acceptance of this offer. So it's getting done up front and you know if this offer is going to be proceeding or not. And you can even put a value there. Subject to a property inspection being done within 7 days and no more than X amount of repairs needing to be done. It does get a bit messy in this type of situation, so always, if you can, do it beforehand before you put the offer to purchase in, but you do not have to do one. If you are viewing a property and you can see it's been immaculately maintained and you feel in your gut that things have been well cared for, then don't waste that money on the inspection. Number 7 now, or 6, whatever we're on. Who pays the estate agent commission? That, funny enough, comes up often. I always thought that people knew kind of where it comes from, but that is the seller. It comes from the proceeds of the property. If so the attorneys handle that, and once it transfers, they pay the proceeds to the seller minus the commission for the estate agent, and obviously the commission is paid directly to the estate agent. Number 8 is how long does this transfer kind of process take? Now, that's a very loaded question that you can't really even answer in too much detail because it's very dependent on how the offer is broken down. Where we see a lot of delays is at the beginning when the buyers have to get all their docs in order for their bond application. So I work with a bond originator because everything goes quicker. For your sake, the seller's sake, you want to know if this deal will be proceeding or not. But it's very dependent because the deeds office comes into play. There's just so many parties involved that it's very hard, but you should be working with a reputable transferring attorney who is updating you with progress reports every single week. And as you're going along, you'll start to see what's outstanding, what's been achieved already, and edging closer to that transfer date. They will be updating you so you know exactly where you are in the transferring journey. So that's just a few that I encounter when I'm with buyers every day when they come into view. If there's something I haven't covered, please leave a comment, message me, and I'll be able to break it down in the next few videos. As I say, I'll go into further detail on full versus sectional title. There's so much that goes into that. Maybe breaking down those costs. Maybe there's questions on your mind. That's what I'm here for, and that's what I'm wanting to share knowledge about. So, if there's something I haven't covered, please leave a comment or message me, email me, and subscribe, please. I'm very new to YouTube, so I'm going to be posting weekly videos, possibly even more than just weekly, 2 a week. And I want to be sharing knowledge with you guys, with sellers as well, other agents and buyers. So subscribe, leave a comment, email me, and then I'll be able to share content that you are wanting to see. Thanks so much, guys.